Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the May 2023 reading for the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. As always, my readings are very intuitive, so I'll provide you with any intuitive messages that I receive as well as the meaning of the tarot cards. I do, however, recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising just to get a full picture of everything that's going on for you. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, that helps me greatly and you'll be notified when I post new content. But let's go and jump in. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's wrapping up and coming to a close, so last few weeks or month. Column number 2, we're going to take a general look at what's coming for May. We're also going to do a money column, a love column, and the 5th and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guides. We'll also do 3 yes or no questions, a crystal of the month, and a healing note for you, Sagittarius. But again, going back to column number 1, what's wrapping up and coming to a close, let's get started there. So we're going to pull a summary affirmation card, which just kind of summarizes what these last few weeks or month have been. We have the card, I feel balanced, so that's a good one. Generally speaking, you probably heard me say this before, Sagittarius. We can all always use more balance, no matter the situation. So I like that you've had a nice balance last few weeks or month. But let's see what cards we've got coming underneath here. Just gonna scoot this down a tiny bit. Try and get you all in the frame. Okay, perfect. First, we have the Wheel of Fortune. For those of you who watched my readings before, you know the Wheel of Fortune is one of my favorite cards in the entire deck. It's a card of good luck. It's a card of good fortune. It's a card of a turning point, though. So a shift in energy. So I like this. I actually think that things will continue to be more balanced for you, Sagittarius, going into these next few months, which is great to see. And actually, it's really kind of into the second half of the year. A lot of times, again, that balanced energy doesn't stick around long, so I like to see that it's changing. This also seems to be bringing in better luck, too. Some of you seem like you just haven't had the best luck yet, so I like this shift in luck for you as well. The next card that we have is the Strength card. The Strength card is a card of self-love. It's a card of self-respect. I think in addition to balance, and maybe this is what's sourcing the balance, I think you're kind of entering into a period where you're really taking care of yourself. Maybe you've picked up a new hobby, Sagittarius, you're going to the gym, you're eating well, maybe you are like not using your phone at night. It feels like there's a really positive kind of self-care type energy that's happening here with the Strength card, so I like to see that. Then at the bottom here, we have the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is a card of expansion. It's a card of growth. Again, this is kind of twofold. We have a shift coming, a change in luck, a change where there will be more balance. But at the same time, we also are doing this kind of self-care, self-respect, self-love type work. So that's going to lead to some growth and expansion as well. So really nice pairing with the cards. The Three of Wands can also be a card of travel, so potentially you've done some traveling these last few weeks too. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at clarifiers and see what else I can give you here. First up, we have the King of Swords. The King of Swords is a card of being very strategic, being very thoughtful. I will say, so we need to have a plan on how to kind of maintain this balance, how to maintain, I know it can be hard to maintain luck, but it's also like this is a plan to maintain the self-care that we're doing. I think this could be as easy as like saying, I am going to go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week, or I'm going to start my morning every morning with meditation. So that's the kind of plan, kind of giving yourself some rigor, giving yourself some structure. So this is again like strategic planning. So how can we carry forward this balance? How can we carry forward this positive self-love? The next card that we have is the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is a card of stress, exhaustion, too many burdens. Again, we're coming into this time of balance, so this is kind of offsetting this. This is what we're moving away from. This is what we're shifting away from. Also, though, you're going to have less exhaustion, you're going to have less burdens. So you're really going to have that flexibility that you need, that time to spend on this self-love. So I like this. You're kind of going away from this period of super busy, super burnt out. And then at the bottom here, we have the Four of Swords. Similar energy. It's needing to rest, retreat, renew, recover. Again, you're entering into that period where you can do those things, continue that balance forward, continue that kind of self-care forward. So also that travel could have been used to kind of renew, get away, take a break. Okay, now let's take a look at our next column, which is just general, what's coming for May. We have the card, I Am a Warrior. So this is about pushing for the things that you want, pushing for the things that you need. I wish life was easier and we didn't have to fight for things, but we do have to know the things we're willing to fight for and act accordingly. So not everything is going to be a fight, which is good to know. I like that. I think that's important to throw that out there. Not everything's going to be a battle, but there are some things, again, that we are going to have to put the extra effort forward for. So let's take a look here though, Sagittarius, and see what we're working with. Again, some highlights of May here. First, we have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is a card of self-imposed restrictions. This is things like doubting yourself, questioning your abilities. Sometimes it's really easy to get into that can't mindset, can't do it, can't do this. So just be aware of that and make sure that you are not limiting yourself. You're already having to fight for this thing, so don't be fighting yourself along the way as well. The next card that we have is the Death card. I always like to mention, for those that don't know, the Death card does not mean death, but it does indicate big changes and endings, and it's time to move on. It's transformation. So I do think there's something that we need to move on from here. We'll get some more clarity there. The next card that we have is the King of Coins. The King of Coins, or the King of Pentacles, is a card of being very solid, practical, and wise. So again, make sure that we are clear on what we're fighting for here. Make sure we're fighting for the right thing. The King of Coins can also be an investment. So I do think some of you are going to move away from one investment to another. But again, it's almost like you think that you can't do that. So let's clarify though and see what other messages I can give you here. First up, we have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is a card of, it's very like nostalgic. It's a card of reflection. I think that there was something potentially that happened, Sagittarius, at one point you couldn't do something. And so that's where that kind of preset mindset comes from, that you can't do it. So there was an incident in the past that leads you to believe that you can't do it now, but that isn't necessarily true. So be aware and be cautious of that. Just because you can't do it now doesn't mean, just because you couldn't do it previously doesn't mean you can't do it now. So do be aware of that. The next card that we have is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is very confident, very self-assured. Again, just because you couldn't do it previously does not mean that you can't do it now, Sagittarius. You kind of have to have this new perspective and make sure that you're not limiting yourself here. This change needs to happen. This transformation needs to happen. It's going to be driven by you and pretty much only you. So again, just keep that in mind. Be very confident and self-assured, even if the past it was something you couldn't get done. At the bottom here, we have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is really riding on that kind of warrior, that kind of self-doubt. But at the end of the day, you have to be a warrior. You don't really have a choice but to accomplish this. So just because you couldn't do it before doesn't mean you can't do it now. That's the message I have there for you. Okay, now let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to money. We're going to start with a quick money message. It happens to be an affirmation here. I allow my money to work for me. In this column, we're going to talk about anything related to money. Job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments you have, whatever you associate with money, Sagittarius. First, we have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is like Prince or Princess Charming. It is like the ideal perfect perspective. This is like very romantic, very proposal-like. This is typically a love card, but when we see it like in a column like business or money, it's about an opportunity that's coming. So I see an opportunity coming here for you. Again, this is like the perfect opportunity or the perfect situation. The next card that we have is the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is a card of needing to rest, retreat, renew, recover. I do think you need to kind of like start getting yourself ready for this opportunity. You need to be like fresh and ready to go when the opportunity comes here, Sagittarius. And at the bottom here, we have the Six of Coins or the Six of Pentacles. This is a card of giving or receiving help, but this is like you receiving this perfect opportunity, this thing that you want. But again, you need to be able to be ready to jump on it, to move on it here. Let's take a look at our clarifiers though. First up, we have the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is a card of victory, award, recognition, good news, success. Again, this is the perfect opportunity, and now you have all these other wonderful things coming with it. The victory, the award, the recognition, the good news, the success. So lots of success and happiness. This is, again, everything you want in this new opportunity. Up next, we have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is all about being resourceful. This is using your resources in the right way. Time, money, energy, you name it, whatever those resources may be. Again, you need to make sure that you are kind of rested and recharged and ready to go after this new opportunity. Make sure you have the resources available. If you're burnt out, you can't really do your best in a job interview. Or if you spend all your money shopping, you can't really make the investment when the investment comes up. So again, make sure you are ready for whatever this opportunity is. At the bottom here, we have the Hangman. The Hangman can be a little stagnant. It's pretty literal, hanging there by the foot. So it's like you could have been waiting for this, but here you are receiving it now. So again, make sure that we're ready. And you may have been told that it's not coming, and it does end up coming sooner or quicker or a different timeline. So just be aware of that, Sagittarius. Okay, now let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to love. We have a quick love message here. Emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. So in this column, we're going to talk about anything related to love, family, friends, relationship, children, marriage, whatever you associate with love, Sagittarius. So up first, we have the Fool card. The Fool card is the first card in the Major Arcana. This is a card of fresh hope, taking chances, new paths, adventures, beginnings. So if you're hoping to enter into a relationship, this is a great card for you. If you're hoping to advance your current relationship, this is a great card for you. Maybe you're looking to grow your family or get a new pet or even find a new friend. Really great card for you, new beginnings all around here. The next card that we have is the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups has a literal meaning of wishes coming true. So again, whatever you're hoping for here, a relationship, advancement of relationship, marriage, baby, dog, whatever it may be, it's like this new beginning is exactly what you've been wishing for. And then at the bottom here, we have the Star card. The Star card is a card of renewal. It's a card of hope. Of course, this is like going to really excite you and re-energize you because it's to the T what you have been hoping for, what you've been wishing for. So it's really neat to see. This could even like come as a miracle. Like you might be again thinking this isn't something that's possible, and it does happen. The Star card is kind of like miracle vibes. Okay, now let's take a look at our clarifiers. First, we have the King of Cups. The King of Cups is very supportive, very tolerant, very empathetic. These are all things we love to see in a relationship, and this seems equally reflected. This is coming from you, and this is coming from the other person. So I love that type of energy. Really nice traits on both sides. The next card we have is the Death card. We talked about the Death card earlier. It does not actually mean death, but this is the big change that you are hoping for. And at the bottom here, we have the World card. The World card is a card of completion. It's the last card in the Major Arcana. It ties really nicely into the Fool because with every ending, there's a beginning. And again, we're just taking on this new thing. This is the beginning of the new chapter here. Okay, now let's take a look at our fifth and final column, which is a message from our future self or spirit guides. We have the summary affirmation card. I am connected. It's kind of hard to see. Oh, this lighting is not the best either. Sorry. But if you look, there's like all these little lines, all these little threads coming off of this card. And those are all of the connections we have, and it's a lot of them. This is about being connected to your mind, being connected to your spirit, being connected to your soul, those around you, the earth, time, all of those type of things. So there's tons and tons of little connections, and that's what's reflected in this card. So connections are going to be important, and it's going to be important to kind of nourish and maintain as many of those connections as possible. But let's see here. At first, we have the Magician. You can't really go wrong with the Magician card. We like to see it wherever it gets sprinkled into our readings. It's really about focusing your energy. So in this case, we need to be focusing our energy on these relationships this month, Sagittarius. This is also about turning visions into reality. So the Magician can make anything happen, but it's like saying, okay, it's the Magician's here to do the work, but we need to put in the work on these relationships. So it's kind of twofold. The Magician's going to support you, but the way that you support yourself is by nurturing these connections this month. The next card that we have is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is a card of speed, action, quick change. Things are moving fast here, so just be aware of that. And it's interesting because I think they haven't been moving at all, and now all of a sudden they are. So you're going to initiate that correct connection that just moves everything forward. The Seven of Coins here, this is a card of patience, delayed success, waiting. Again, you could have been kind of stagnant and waiting here, but all of a sudden things are like jumping forward. First up, we have the Six of Swords for clarifiers. This is a card of going through a necessary transition. So again, things weren't moving and now the boat is cruising forward with us. This could involve physically moving or relocating, so just be aware of that as well. The next card that we have is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is a card of being very reliable, being patient. Again, we talked there was some waiting there. But now this is like your hard work paying off. Like I said, I feel like this isn't moving, and then all of a sudden jumps forward for you. For whatever reason, this connection really ignites things. And then at the bottom here, we have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is a card of trusting your intuition, trusting your process, trusting the process. So, I don't even think you need to seek out this relationship. It's going to just kind of show up. This connection is going to show up and you'll know exactly what to do. So the nice thing is I don't think you have to go trying to understand this column. It will come to light for you. Okay, at this time, Sagittarius, I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask 3 yes or no questions. We're going to use our Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. If you don't have 3 questions in mind, you can pause the video and think of them really quick. But question number 1 is the Nine of Clubs. This is number 26 card. That is going to be a no. Question number 2 is the Eight of Clubs. This is number 13 card. That's going to be a no. And question number 3 is the Three of Spades. This is number 10 card. That's going to be a yes. So no, yes there for you, Sagittarius. We're also going to pull a card from our Healing Stones deck, which is a crystal to keep with you through the month of May. You have Rhodonite, which is good for closure, balance, and it helps kind of process maybe traumatic things or things that don't sit the best with us. Last but not least, we're going to pull a card from our Healing Notes deck. Your healing note says, all healing is first a healing of the heart. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. Again, subscriptions help me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post new content. Also, I did include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you so much, Sagittarius, and I hope you have a wonderful May.